YouTube. This is Ashley Ashlock. Happy holidays. Yes, I wanted to do a video before the new year. This is something the idea came about because one of my friends, shout out to Michelle, I'm pretty sure you're watching it, but she was considering getting locks and was kind of looking for YouTube videos as far as reasons why people get locks, and saw many videos on the pros and cons of having locks, but didn't see anything as far as reasons why people decided to get locks. So I did take notes, so I may be glancing off the screen every so often, but I wanted to go over the 15 reasons as for what I feel that why people lock their hair. The first one, of course, is that they love the look. They love the looks of locks. They think locks are great and they just really want to have locks, like locks, locks, locks. So yeah, some people just love the look and always wanted locks and pretty much got locks. Another reason may be that they were inspired by a family member or or maybe an aunt or an uncle or maybe a sibling or even a significant other that had locks, and it wasn't something that they really had considered for themselves, but saw it on someone that was close to them and said, hey, that may be something that I'd like to try too. So they were inspired to get locks. Another reason, which was one of my main reasons, is they're tired of detangling. So if your hair is natural, of course, you know the detangling process. It would take me 3 hours to wash, comb, twist my hair. 3 hours, because I was doing it myself. And if you go to the shop, it may take even longer than that because you know how the shops be. But yeah, just detangling, taking the time to detangle your hair. And it was like a bi-weekly thing of detangling. I don't know how so much hair can just like clump up, and your hair just wants to lock, especially if you have hair like mine or just any type of kinky hair. Your hair wants to naturally lock. So you're spending hours going through, don't let your hair get dry, but you have to just like detangle, 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 and you're tired of it and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna let my hair be great and my hair do what it wants to do, which is lock up. Okay, another reason why, the number 4, why people get decide to get locks is because they tend to be someone who has their hair braided or a low maintenance style anyway. So if it's like some people like have individuals or have cornrows or something, and then they take it out, wash their hair, just like add them back in, and they just keep doing that over and over and over. Like they tend to just like that low maintenance of individuals or braids of sorts. So just go ahead and lock it up. Make your own 24-hour braids. You don't have to worry about. That was another thing. When you get your hair braided, that's taking hours. I know now they have like you can cornrow your hair or like the crochet braids and stuff. So that doesn't take like, because I would usually take like 8 hours when I have gotten my hair braided. And then that's not even including the takedown. That's just the 8 hours of somebody braiding your hair. So yeah, with locks, it's way quicker, way easier, and you don't have to go through that 16-hour take in, take out process. Another reason why some people decide to get locks, number 5, would be that they're on some type of spiritual journey. I personally can't speak much on that, but I know that I've heard a lot of lockers say that it was like some type of spiritual journey and their hair came along with them on that journey. So they tend to not want to cut their hair because it's a part of like the journey for them spiritually. Some people have locks because their parents had locks, either their mother, their father, or whomever was in charge of their hair when they were younger, and decided to lock up their hair because that parent made the decision to lock up the child's hair. So there are some people who have locks, and it was more so the parents locked their hair, and as an adult they have embraced, and that's pretty much all they have known for most of their life is hair with locks. So they have their locks just because they have their locks. They've always had them. So another reason why people have locks is they want to look like celebrities, athletes, maybe even like the people that they see on Instagram. So they see the people with locks and they're like, I want those. How do I get those? Or they may just be inspired by somebody walking up the street. Oh, how'd you do that? I want the locks. Give me the locks. So it is a process, and that's something that many people may not understand. They look at you and say, hey, how long does it take to lock your hair? Like, for example, I was asked that today, and I would say my typical response is it takes about a year for your hair to fully look like 9 months to a year that looks like, oh, it's locked. Like, I know what you're doing with your hair. You are locking your hair. Of course, you'll be able to see your hair is actually locking before then, but to just not make people feel rushed, or like, I don't want to like have them with false assumptions, because depending upon the texture of their hair, it can take about a year for your hair to look like you have lots. Someone with more fine texture hair may take a longer period of time for them to have the more of the lock look. So that's why I just generally say a year. That way, someone hair looks like it's locked at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. I've covered my bases by saying a year. But they look at me and say, oh, it's been a year. Like, no, it hasn't been a year. Like, the question was, how long does it take your lock to your hair? So my locks are almost, they'll be 3 years old in about 3 months. So, but then I also, I had been growing my hair naturally for some time. So it just really depends upon a lot of different factors, but I generally just say a year. But yeah, let me get back on tangent. Let me see here. Sorry. Okay. And this is another thing. If the person has full locks, as an alternative to getting locks, they kind of want to test the idea of locks, because I was going to do that, but I couldn't find anyone to do my faux locks. And I was like, you know what? Just lock your hair. Like, you keep wearing this natural, and you keep on doing your hair, the twist style and twisting and detangling, just like so freaking annoying. How about you just, I wanted to do the faux locks, but I never really did find anyone to do it for me, so I just ended up locking my hair. But for someone who does do faux locks and they like that look, they can cross over to actual locks with their hair. But they must understand that the faux locks and your locks are not the same. Like, your hair is a totally different texture than whatever the faux locks may have looked like. The thickness of it, the density, even if you have the exact same parts that you had of your faux locks, that doesn't mean that your lock's going to end up that way. So sometimes people go into the lock game with the vision of how their faux locks are, and sometimes may be disappointed, but that's just you can get locks, but just don't have the expectation that it's going to look exactly how your faux locks looked. Plus, you know, like, your actual locks don't shine as the synthetic hair. I think it's synthetic, I'm not really sure. Or whatever hair is used for the faux locks, it's different than your natural hair. So it's the same concept, but it's not going to be the same. Okay, the next thing for number 9, hair freedom. Yes, hair freedom. When you have locks, you are no longer afraid of water. Okay, well, let me reword that. If you have semi-freeform locks or freeform locks, you are no longer afraid of water. Let it rain, let the shower come, let the summer come, let the pools come. You are free to do as you choose with your hair. And it's because of the locks. Because I know when I was a pressed flat iron girl, soon as I left the club, wrapping my hair, can't let the sweat get on the edges. It was just like, oh man. And that's another, I sometimes feel that, like, when I twist my hair, I turn back into that girl that I try to get away from. The reasons why I'm locking my hair, because I have to be more conscious, and it's just like, okay, my edges is all neat. I gotta put on the scarf. I gotta make sure that when I take my shower, I have to cover my hair. So it's just that when you are freedom, you want the freedom. That's why freeform locks are more if you want that freedom and not have to worry about water anymore. Okay, number 10, you want to grow your hair. A lot of people have been natural for years and they are having difficult time retaining the length of their hair. So when they lock their hair, it tends to retain length better. So you're able to grow your hair longer than whatever your threshold point was. So yeah, that is another reason. And let me see here. Sorry. Okay, number breaking. Oh, another reason is you want to be an individual. For example, you have been told or suggested by family and friends that, oh no, locks, oh no, locks don't look nice. Locks look awful. Locks make you look a certain way. You can't do anything if you have locks. You know, you may have family or friends who kind of are putting you in this bubble against locks when your heart may be saying, but I want to know more. I want to get these locks. So sometimes you decide to go ahead and take that leap of faith. Go ahead and be you, be your own individual, and lock it on up. Lock it on up. Like, it's just really, sometimes it's just taking a matter into your own hands. It's great if you have support with locking your hair, but just know that at the end of the day, the person who has to lay with the locks is you. So do you, do you. Another thing, number 12. Number 12, it is, you can be creative with your own natural hair. So depending upon the length of your locks, you can do a lot of styles. So some people say that you have locks, you can get a sense of creativity because with locks, you can braid your hair and then take it out. Even just braiding your hair. If I was to like braid my hair into like 10 braids, 10 gigantic pigtails, that's a style. Like, locks are so easy to make a style. Is just so creative. It's like sometimes you don't even mean to be creative, but you are, because number 13, which is kind of the opposite of it, is that you're not creative. If you just wake up and have your locks, that is a style, and it's like you don't really have that creative bone to kind of like, I don't know what to do with my hair. If you have locks, you already are doing a style. Like, it's just a natural style. It's nothing for you to do. It's already done. So you're not a creative person, but you end up being creative. So yeah, that's another benefit. Like, creativity versus non-creative works out with locks. And number 14 is that, hang on, I need to see this one a little closer. Oh, yes. You might just end up with locks. What do I mean by that? So some people, you know, just end up with locks. Like, if I twist my hair and I just get lazy with it, this is what was happening also. So when I would twist my hair, I got to the point I was not really detangling like I should. And some of the back of my hair was like locking. But this is not those locks. I did actually end up combing it out back at that point. But if you are not combing out your hair, like from root to tip, your hair is going to naturally lock. So some people just end up with locks because they either had their hair in like a 2-strand twist or just washed their hair and didn't really do anything with it. And then they're like, hey, what's going on with my hair? It just starts to separate out and make its own locks. And you just kind of, eventually you realize, like, I think my hair is locking, but it wasn't like you went in with the intent of, I want to lock my hair. It just kind of like happened that way. But yeah, you can just end up with locks. Another reason is, number 15 is a life change. Some people might have encountered some type of like relationship change status, or it might have been something that emotionally had them a certain way, and to cope with it, they wanted to come up with a new identity, a new self, a new way of feeling, like kind of along the lines of like the freedom route. But locks was what they decided, as either letting go or adding something new. Sometimes some people may find out that they are going to have a child and like want to lock their hair, like, hey, I'm going through this journey with my hair, along with having the child or something. It's just many reasons, but they could be like life reasons as far as why people decide to lock their hair. I know I said 15, but I'm just going to throw this one back. This was my number 1 bringing it back, you just love the look. So yeah, you just love the look of locks. So those are my reasons why people, 15 reasons why people decide to get locks. If you have any more, go ahead and add them at the bottom so you can subscribe, like this video. Have a great New Year's, everyone. Peace.